it's not even about being perfect. Like right now, this is good. I'll use this.
Cool.
All
Okay. What is the book that you've given most often as a gift? Or what 3 books could you recommend?
The book that I most often gift is The Way of the Superior Man by David something, but we'll put that at the bottom, I guess. But The Way of the Superior Man, it's balancing work, life, sexual desire, the whole thing that being like, you need to be on your A game. And being on your A game doesn't mean really like disrespecting anybody, be it, your girlfriend, your wife, whatever. But then at the same time, women are going to try to throw you off balance because you're trying to chase them and you want something from them and they want something from you. And anyway, the book kind of detangles that whole hairball mess that relationships between men and women can be, and I think it helps us find our true nature and go after what we were meant to go after in life, which is our true purpose. And if that's family, so be it. But I think the argument is that there are we each have things that we need to go after besides just sex and love.
What purchase of $100 or less has most positively impacted your life?
Most recently, $100 or less. I purchased a couple online courses from Kelly Starrett at mobilitywad.com, and what I like about Kelly, first of all, he's got a great attitude and a great personality, and the way that he interacts with the camera and with his audience is really genuine and fun. And I wanted to brush up on my anatomy and physiology and kind of the way in which I look at the body and work with people's bodies. So he had these little courses, they were like $20, and I went through the lower back, the shoulder, and the knee. I still think I have the ankle to do, and I'd still be under $100. And I'll do you one better, he refers you to this guy Gil Headley. Gil Headley does a full body dissection, which, if you can stomach it, it's fascinating and amazing to watch him take off the layers of the body, and you see the interaction between the skin and the fat and the nerves and the blood vessels and the muscles and all that stuff. So essential information and training.
How has failure or apparent failure set you up for later success?
When you start delving into the world of self-improvement and trying to create your own reality, or make your dreams come true, however you want to phrase it, you find people that are going to coach you by saying, your failures are your biggest opportunities, or you have to be willing to fail to put yourself on the line and put yourself out there. And I think it goes back to when I started studying Tai Chi, and when you want to get good at Tai Chi, they tell you invest in failure. So if I'm always trying to win, I never learn what would happen if I were to lose, or to let myself relax and back off. And that's where the true Tai Chi techniques lie, is where when you're not just trying to power through somebody, you are allowing their energy to come at you, you deal with it, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you learn how to redirect that and win. So Tai Chi training applied to the rest of my life. I just started investing in failure all over the place. I moved to New York to do stand-up comedy. Good God, you're never going to make anybody laugh if you think you have to make them laugh every single time you get on stage. It's just a completely crazy proposition or position to operate from, because you're just never going to learn that fast. So you have to bomb, you have to fail. And then as far as opening my business is concerned, I didn't know what I was doing other than the fact that I like personal training, I like working with people, I felt like I was pretty good at it, and I could make money at it. So another book that I recommend is The Entrepreneurial Myth, which basically says if you're a good baker, a good personal trainer, a good dancer, you should start your own dance company, personal training studio, bakery, respectively. And the myth is that that would work, and actually it's a really bad idea. And that's exactly what I did. I opened a business not knowing what the fuck I was doing. And here we are 10 years later, and it's been out of sheer willpower and perseverance and willingness to fail and try new things that we're here today.
If you could get a gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say and why?
First of all, a bizarre image comes to mind when I think about having a billboard that I could put anything I wanted on it. On some level, I think I'd want to have myself portrayed as like a professional wrestler and be doing some kind of check out my nuts type thing, just because I think that's ridiculous. So that's probably a horrible answer because it doesn't necessarily paint anything that I do in a good light. But what I would think I would do is I would probably, along the lines of that last question and answer with be willing to fail, it would be something along the lines of, why are you trying so hard? Everything you have is right in front of you. Something like that. And then maybe a picture of someone studying really hard over a book and sweating. I don't know. Okay, that's it. For me, investments are in the form of education and experience. So for me, it's that $2,000 plane ticket that puts me in Nepal with my sister for a adventure and vacation that I would never have been able to have otherwise. Going to Alaska during one of the summers of my summer break during college, a pivotal transformational moment occurred when I decided I'm going to go and do this. I'm going to, cut the umbilical cord from my parents and from what I'm supposed to do in society. You should have an internship and you should be building your resume so you can get a good job when you get out of college. And it's because I started off on that trajectory of I got to go do this crazy thing and I'm investing in experience, then that's allowed me to that set the cornerstone. That trip to Alaska in 1998 set the cornerstone for me being able to do more and more of those type of things throughout my life, and eventually it's become my life story. Go to Alaska, go to New York, work in South Africa, visit Nepal, open a business. All of these things, they were just different challenges in kind of a little different form or shape, but still it was the same thing. It was work the muscle of being able to just jump off into the deep end. I love Chinese martial arts. I don't know if that's absurd, but I do really like working these old-style Chinese martial arts movements and thinking about where they came from and how they apply. And you can get very technical with the way in which you train and apply martial arts techniques, and then also thinking that how are these techniques affecting my psychology and then my life and how I live it, as opposed to I know how to fight and I'm a black belt and I can do this because I studied with this master. It's kind of I don't even necessarily care about that stuff. But and the only other thing I would say would be absurd or weird or funny is that I go do stand-up once a week, and that's just important for me to do. And it's not because I expect to get on the Tonight Show or something like that. I just feel I believe in it as part of my process for creating the experience and mentality and life that I want to live. Oh, and I'm going to make this the final answer for this interview, and we'll pick it up another time. But in the last 5 years, it's a couple different things. It's kind of a combination of saying you're old enough to think for yourself, you have enough education, you have enough experience, you don't need to rely on the guidance of masters. You don't need gatekeepers. You don't need anybody's permission. And you need to live as the male human that you have taught yourself to be. In other words, like, for the longest time, it was like, I'll try anything and I'll do anything because I haven't experienced enough, and I want you, the proverbial you, the other person, to show me. I want to read your book. I want to take your class. I want to study your system. I want to see what I'm missing and if there's any gaps in my understanding education. I now know I will never fill in all of those gaps, and as a result, I will continue to always attempt to study, learn, grow, be the best version of myself I can be, etc., etc. But at the same time, to be perpetually navel-gazing and perpetually like trying to think about like how, am I not good enough? I basically got to the point where I was like, it ain't getting any prettier. This is what it is. This is what it's going to be, and I'm not upset with that or ashamed of it. So let's fucking go. And that's all the time we have for today. Thank you. Thank you.